Incredible moment revealed, poor girl asks CEO for leftovers, uncovers life-changing truth about. Mia's heart raced as she stood in the chaos left behind by the community festival. The warm glow of the fading sunset captured her small town in a tender embrace, but it was the lingering scent of barbecue and fried dough that plagued her thoughts. Her mom's diner, the only place they had to call home, meant working hard just to scrape by. She watched as families laughed, ate, and danced, their joy contrasting with the tightness in her chest. That day, she didn't just want a taste of freedom, she wanted a lifeline. After a whirlwind of activity, she spotted Mr. Thompson, the powerful CEO who everyone seemed to adore. In the stories told, he was a philanthropist, the knight in shining armor trying to save the town. Stealing her nerves, Mia decided to approach him, an idea forming that felt audacious yet necessary. She felt the buzz of excitement and fear as she made her way through the remnants of laughter. "Mr. Thompson," she called out, her voice trembling slightly. Could you spare any leftover food from the festival?" The words spilled out, honest and vulnerable. A hush of surprise surrounded her as people turned their heads. Mr. Thompson paused, eyebrows raised. Here was a girl, with dirt-smudged hands and hopeful eyes, standing in front of a man who could give her everything she dreamed of. "What makes you ask that?" he inquired gently, studying her earnest face. Mia swallowed, her voice lowering. "My mom runs a diner, and we're struggling." She hesitated, then continued unabashedly, "I dream of becoming a chef one day. We just need a little help." He saw the spark in her eyes, a fire that spoke of hope, hard work, and resilience. As they talked, Mia shared snippets of her dreams, the long hours in the diner, and her mother's unwavering strength, cloaked in a thin layer of pride. Mr. Thompson's own burdens surfaced, a legacy weighed down by business decisions and community expectations. They stood seemingly worlds apart, yet that day, they reached across unseen divides. Back at the diner, tensions brewed like a summer storm. Mia's mother, Melissa, was overwhelmed with embarrassment after hearing about Mia's encounter. "You shouldn't have done that. We don't beg for scraps," she burst out, the frustration bubbling over. Mia's chest tightened. "Mom, I'm not ashamed of asking for help. We deserve more than this." The heated exchange unfolded, cutting deep between them like a rift. Love and frustration danced around the kitchen as they both struggled to express their hopes and fears. "Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen." Now let's continue. The following week, the community meeting brought an unexpected twist. Mr. Thompson rose, his voice rallying the crowd. "Let us support young Mia. She is a testament to hard work," he championed, yet murmurs and skepticism rippled through the audience. Would they rally around a girl with empty pockets but a heart full of dreams? As the tension thickened, Mia stood on the periphery, her hopes dangling like a fragile thread waiting to be pulled. She knew her voice carried weight, but would it be enough to bridge the gaps between dreams and reality? With eyes wide and heart thumping, she awaited the verdict of her small town, the air thick with possibility. Mia's breath hitched as the murmurs grew louder around her. She stood there, heart racing, watching Mr. Thompson command the room with ease. The way he spoke about her stirred something deep inside her. She was only a girl with big dreams, but here he was, turning her into a symbol of hope for an entire community. Yet anxiety gripped her like a vice. What if they didn't believe in her? The crowd began to stir. People leaned in to whisper, casting doubtful glances in her direction. "She is just a kid," a voice muttered. "What does she know about running a kitchen?" Another chimed in with a laugh, and it felt like a knife twisting in her gut. She ducked her head, feeling the shame seep through her skin, but Mr. Thompson pressed on. "Look at her," he urged, gesturing towards Mia. This young woman represents all the aspiring chefs who want to make something more of themselves. We can't just sit back and let talent go to waste. Every soup, every slice of bread, has a story. Let us support her. That was it. Her heart soared momentarily at his faith in her as the words echoed. But the conflicting noises of disbelief soon clouded the room. A sea of familiar faces, people she'd known her whole life, shifted from curiosity to skepticism. Support her? And how do you propose we do that? A gruff older man complained from the back, his crossed arms making him appear unapproachable. Just because she asked for scraps doesn't mean we ought to cough up cash for her dreams. The room buzzed with agreement. Mia felt her dreams slip through her fingers. How can I fight against this? She thought, fighting back tears. Just as her spirit began to dim, Mr. Thompson took a step toward the man. Because it's not just about money, he replied firmly. It's about investing in the future. Mia's passion could ignite a spark in our community. A flicker of something sparked within Mia. She felt the weight of eyes still watching. Maybe it was her chance. With a deep breath, she took a step forward past the doubting faces, reaching for that moment Mr. Thompson created. Mr. Thompson is right, she exclaimed, surprising even herself. I may not know everything, but I'm willing to learn. I've worked in the diner since I could reach the counter, and I'll work day and night if it means I can chase my dreams. Suddenly, silence echoed through the crowd. Their expressions shifted, caught between disbelief and respect for her courage. I just want a chance, one shot to prove that I can cook. I want my mom to be proud. Murmurs began again. Some faces softened, while others knitted together in thought. Mia could feel their doubts challenging her words, and she swallowed hard, searching for strength. A hand shot up a familiar face from the diner. I remember when you first started working, Mia. You were a natural in the kitchen, even back then. It was Mrs. Jenkins, a loyal customer. Her words ignited something in the crowd. People began nodding, recalling moments when Mia D turned an ordinary meal into something special. Mia stood still, adrenaline coursing through her. The outcome hung in the air, thick as the scent of frying food. Did she still have a shot at this? Could she convince them her dreams were worth investing in? And just when hope cracked through the uncertainties, Mr. Thompson's voice resonated strong in the silence. Let us do something bold. I propose creating a community fund, a culinary scholarship in Mia's name, to support her dreams, and others like her. Gasps of surprise rippled through the crowd. Would they really do it? Mia felt the swell of emotion rise in her chest. Was this really happening? Could her dreams catch fire? As the crowd erupted in discussion, she felt the energy shift. But adrenaline swiftly turned to hesitation. What if they still didn't believe in her? Tension after unyielding tension filled the room. Mia's mind turned over a single, burning question: could she shoulder the weight of such ambition? Would the community rally behind her? Because something was beginning to shift. The future felt uncertain, yet possible. And as the voices around her grew, one thing became clear: the journey was just beginning. With her heart pounding in her chest, Mia believed she could finally break free from the silence that had long surrounded her dreams. But what she didn't expect was the challenge waiting for her next. The discussions in the room gained momentum. Mia could hardly keep up with the voices swirling around her, each one like a wave crashing against her dreams. It felt both exhilarating and terrifying. She watched as Mr. Thompson moved through the crowd, chatting animatedly, gauging reactions, drawing people into the conversation. Mrs. Jenkins stood up again, her voice rising above the rest. We can't just sit and talk. If we're going to have a scholarship, let us make it real. Let us start a fundraising dinner right here in town. Mia can showcase her skills, and we can see what she's made of. The suggestion took root. Excited murmurs bounced from person to person. Mia felt her heart flutter. A chance to show them she was more than just a girl with dreams. This could be the opportunity she needed. But the doubts were still lurking, like shadows in the corners of her mind. Could she really pull it off? The thought wrapped around her like a heavy cloak. What if she failed in front of everyone? The weight of expectation was daunting, and yet, there was Mrs. Jenkins, arguing passionately for Mia. I've seen her grow, and she has a gift. Think of all the people who've come together over a shared meal. It brings us together. This could be Mia's chance to remind us of what it means to support each other. As the crowd joined in, excitement buzzing through the air, Mia couldn't help but glance at Mr. Thompson. His face shone with pride, and a proud smile danced on his lips. For the first time, she could see the possibility in her future. Maybe they truly believed in her. All right, let us do it. Mr. Thompson clapped his hands, rallying the room. Mia, we want you to plan this dinner. Gather a team, and we'll work together to make it a success. A tentative energy surged through Mia, her heart beating faster. She could see the faces of the townsfolk now, hopes flickering, a community leaning forward. But that familiar fear tickled at her thoughts. Was she really ready for this? Did she have the skills and guts to lead such an event? Just then, a tall man at the back raised his arm, breaking through her inner turmoil. If we're going to support Mia, I can donate my restaurant's kitchen for the night. We can make this a real culinary event. Gasps of disbelief swept the room, quickly replaced by murmurs of excitement. This was the moment Mia needed a small seed of confidence taking root amid all the uncertainty. Can I really do this? She whispered to herself, feeling a new determination surge. Yes, you can. The words felt louder than her doubts, echoing with strength. She didn't just want to represent the future of a community kitchen, she wanted to be part of a shared dream. As ideas flew around, details began to form, but in the back of her mind, one burning thought persisted: was this dinner going to be her moment of truth, or the beginning of another disappointment? With a mixture of hope and fear surging within her, Mia nodded resolutely. All right. Let us make this happen. The cheers from the crowd felt like a wave washing over her, pulling her into something bigger than herself. Yet, even as excitement lit up the air, in the silence of her heart, a nagging question remained: what if all this fell apart? The weight of expectation was heavier than ever. In that moment, Mia realized that her journey was not just about food or dreams, it was about conquering her fears, step by step. But she had to ask herself, was she ready to face whatever came next, even if it meant standing fully in the spotlight? And then, in a surprising twist, she caught sight of someone familiar in the crowd, someone who might change everything once again. Mia's heart thundered in her chest as she scanned the crowd, recognizing the tall figure that stood out from the rest. It was her older brother, Ben. He had moved to the city a year ago, chasing dreams of his own, and had promised to return someday. But she hadn't expected today. The moment their eyes locked, a rush of emotions flooded through her: joy, relief, and a touch of anxiety. Is that really you? She thought, feeling a soft warmth spread through her like sunshine breaking through cloud cover. Ben made his way through the crowd, his familiar grin lighting up his face. He reached her, enveloping her in a warm embrace that felt like home. I heard about the dinner, he said, pulling back to look her in the eye. I wouldn't miss it for the world. Mia's worries eased as she held his gaze. I'm so glad you're here. I'm nervous. I don't know if I can pull this off. Are you kidding? He chuckled lightly, brushing a stray hair from her forehead. You've always had that spark, Mia. Remember how you turned leftovers from Mom's fridge into those gourmet dishes for the neighborhood potluck? You can do this. His encouragement washed over her like a balm. She remembered those moments transforming simple meals into something magical. But this was different. It wasn't just about food, it was about the entire community believing in her. The pressure felt overwhelming. Mia. We need you up here. Mrs. Jenkins called, beckoning to her. A knot of excitement churned in Mia's stomach. She could sense the support, the energy in the room, and yet, despite Ben's presence invigorating her, doubts twisted in her mind again. Do you really think I can do this? She whispered to him, her voice barely above a breath. Absolutely. Just think of all the people counting on you. And I'll be right here with you every step of the way. His confidence spread through her. The spark he spoke of flickered to life, but she still felt the weight of the unknown ahead. What would happen if she stumbled during the dinner? The thoughts raced in her mind, smothering the fire of hope that was just starting to blaze. Mr. Thompson clapped his hands again, calling the meeting to order, bringing Mia back to the moment. We need to break into teams. Fundraising, planning, decor, it all needs to be set. Mia straightened her spine, taking a deep breath as the room buzzed with energy. Ideas were tossed around, assignments began to take shape, and a plan unfurled like the petals of a blooming flower. Ben joined her side, and together, they rallied support as they took on tasks. But even as she got swept up in the flurry of activity, the question loomed above her: would all of this truly come together? What if their efforts fell flat? The pungent aroma of culinary possibilities filled the air as the brainstorming continued, each suggestion building excitement. And yet, the nagging concerns threatened to steal her focus. Just then, another familiar face appeared. It was Jenny, her childhood friend, the one who had moved to the big city and always seemed out of reach. But there she was, standing hesitantly at the edge of the room as if she wasn't sure she fit in anymore. Mia's heart stuttered. This dinner was turning into something more: a reunion, a chance to reconnect. That feeling of hope mixed with anxiety erupted in her chest. Could she embrace every part of this journey, even the unexpected moments? With a quick glance at Ben, who nodded encouragingly, she made a choice. She would reach out, not just to the people in the room, but to those whom she had lost touch with. But just as she took a step toward Jenny, another thought struck her: what if reaching out only opened old wounds? Mia hesitated for a fraction of a second, the whirlwind around her intensifying. Did she have the courage to face her past? Would her heart be strong enough for the challenges ahead? With the evening's excitement unfolding and new obstacles ready to emerge, Mia's journey into the spotlight was taking shape, but the real question loomed: where would it lead her next? Mia took a deep breath, steadying herself. She remembered the laughter they shared in childhood, the secrets whispered under the stars. With Jenny here, nothing felt impossible. She could almost hear the echoes of their friendship, calling her back. "Hey, Jenny!" Mia called, forcing a smile that masked her nerves. As Jenny turned, a flicker of recognition sparked in her eyes, and Mia felt a rush of warmth. "It's so good to see you." Jenny stepped forward, her brows creased with uncertainty. "I wasn't sure if I should come, with everything that's happened." Mia's stomach twisted at the thought. They had drifted apart after high school, life pulling them in different directions. "I know. But I really want you here. This dinner, it's a big deal for me. I could use my best friend by my side." Jenny looked around, her gaze darting from one familiar face to another. "It just feels so different now. I thought I'd always be part of this community." "No one ever stopped thinking of you as part of it," Mia assured her. "Things change, but that doesn't mean you don't belong." Jenny looked uncertain, but the flicker of hope in her eyes made Mia's heart swell. They had shared so many dreams, and now, standing amidst this crowd, Mia realized she wanted to reach out not just to Jenny, but to anyone who felt left behind. "Let us work together on the dinner," Mia suggested, her eyes lighting up at the thought. "I could use your flair for decoration. You always had the best ideas." That coaxed a smile from Jenny. "Really? I'd love to. I just didn't know if I fit in anymore." Mia took a step closer, lowering her voice. "You always fit in with me. Let us make something beautiful together. We can make this dinner unforgettable." Just then, an unexpected roar of laughter erupted from a nearby table where Mrs. Jenkins was trying to juggle a stack of plates. The sound was infectious, a reminder of the camaraderie in the room. Mia glanced over her shoulder at Ben, who was deep in conversation with another group. He caught her eye and winked, as if to say everything was working out just fine. The warmth of support enveloped her, making the pressure she felt earlier dissolve just a little. They set to work, gathering supplies for their planning. The vibrant colors of tablecloths and the clattering of dishes turned into an orchestra of creativity. Jenny and Mia shared memories, laughter, and ideas, stripping away years of distance that had settled between them. But amidst all the joy, a flicker of doubt crept back. What if Mia's vision for the dinner didn't resonate with everyone? What if they failed? She stumbled over the fear, but when she looked at Jenny so eager, so ready to dive in, her heart lightened. The evening sped by, filled with brainstorming, decorating, and renewed connections. But as they stepped back to assess their progress, a shadow crossed Mia's mind. Was this dinner enough to reignite a sense of belonging in everyone? "Hey, Mia, what if we invite others, those who haven't been around lately?" Jenny suggested thoughtfully. Mia caught her breath. It was brilliant. Inviting those who felt disconnected could bring everyone together in a way she hadn't considered. But the fear loomed that her gesture would invite old grudges or misunderstanding. Would they come? Mia's heart raced at the thought. "We won't know until we try," Jenny replied, her voice steady. Mia's determination began to take hold. Could they really build bridges instead of barriers? It was risky, but it might just be what the community needed. With a shared glance, they both felt it, an electric charge of possibility. But just as they prepared to take that leap, a commotion at the back of the room caught their attention. A figure stepped in, shadowy but familiar, and the chatter muted. Mia's heart sank as she recognized him. What was he doing here, and how would this affect everything she had just started to build? The sense of dread mixed with hope surged within her. Would this be a turning point, or a stumbling block? Everything she had worked for was teetering on the edge, and now, she would have to face whatever came next. Mia's breath caught in her throat as she focused on the figure stepping forward. It was Kyle, the same boy whose big dreams had always been blunted by his own insecurities. They had shared laughter and dreams, yet he vanished into the fabric of their small town after graduation. Now, in the cozy hall filled with friends and family, his presence cast a long shadow over her excitement. "Is that Kyle?" Jenny murmured beside her, staring wide-eyed. "Yeah," Mia replied, her heart pounding. "What is he doing here?" Kyle paused at the entrance, squinting against the overhead lights. He seemed a bit older but still held that same awkward charm that endeared him to so many. As uncomfortable as Mia felt, she also felt a flicker of sympathy. The laughter and warmth in the room returned, but anxiety swirled in her chest. What if his return turned the tide of this evening? What if it ignited unresolved tensions? As if sensing their stares, Kyle shifted his weight on one foot and glanced around. "Wow, it's a full house," he said, his voice shaky but slightly louder than the murmurs. Mia exchanged glances with Jenny, who nodded encouragingly. Kyle wasn't a threat. Maybe he was the bridge they didn't know they needed. With a deep breath, Mia stepped forward. "Hey, Kyle." "It's been a while," she called, trying to keep her voice steady, though it trembled with nerves. Kyle looked at her, surprise lighting up his features. With hope flickering in his eyes, he made his way toward Mia. "Mia. I didn't think I'd see anyone I knew here." The moment between them felt surreal. They had shared so much once, the hopes of youth, the innocence of dreams, but years of silence stretched painfully between them. "I'm glad you came," Mia said, feeling the weight of their past but wanting to focus on the present. He gave a hesitant smile. "Me too. I saw the signs for the dinner and felt like I had to try showing up. This place, it feels different." Mia's heart raced. Was he feeling the same sense of disconnection? The same yearning to belong? "It is different, but I think we can make it feel right again. Together." Kyle glanced around, uncertainty flickering across his face. "Do you really think so? After everything?" "Of course," Mia replied, surprising even herself with the conviction in her tone. "We're going to invite everyone back, Kyle. Everyone who feels lost, even you. We're all part of this community." His expression softened. "You think they do want me back?" Mia stepped closer, lowering her voice so only he could hear. "If I can bring people together, then you are just as important as anyone else here. You matter, Kyle." Just then, a burst of laughter erupted from across the room, successfully scattering the tension. Kyle smiled, the last of his uncertainty ebbing away. Mia couldn't help but feel a wave of relief wash over her as they shared this moment. But in the back of her mind, that nagging worry still lingered. What if his return truly brought chaos instead of reunion? Suddenly, the chatter darkened, shifting in the direction of a heated conversation. Mia's gaze darted across the table setting where old grudges were inevitably showing their faces. Her heart sank again. What if Kyle's arrival triggered the past everyone was trying to forget? Before she could voice her concerns, she turned back to find Kyle looking at her, as if sensing her turmoil. Mia, I know this night is important to you. I want to help. His offer struck a chord, warmth spiraling through her. Really? We could use all the hands we can get. I can talk to some of the old gang. Maybe we could breathe new life into the conversation, he suggested, his determination shining through. Mia felt her spirit lift, the possibility sprang forth, blossoming before her. That would be incredible. Just imagine if everyone came together like we used to. For the first time in a long while, hope began to ignite inside her. Could they rewrite their story? She sensed the potential for healing, for laughter echoing again, but before she could fully embrace the dream of a united community, another figure entered, this time, one Mia had never expected to see. Her heart dropped as an unmistakable wave of ice washed over her. The weight of anticipation mixed with fear settled in her stomach. Would this person be the key to their future, or would their mere presence threaten everything Mia had begun to rebuild? She did need courage, but was she ready to confront her past so openly? Mia had no choice now. The night was just starting, and the real test awaited. Would she step up, or would fear dictate her next move? Mia turned and froze. The figure now stepping into the light was familiar but charged with all the wrong kind of memories. Olivia, her old rival, the girl who had mirrored everything Mia aspired to be but never could. With sleek hair and an effortless confidence, she owned the room the moment she pushed through the crowd. Mia's heart pounded, a mix of turmoil and dread swirling within her. She hadn't seen Olivia since the last summer of their high school days, when petty jealousies and misunderstandings had splintered their fragile friendship. Now, here she was, emerging like a specter from the past, and Mia felt torn between anger and a painful nostalgia for their lost camaraderie. Olivia, Mia whispered under her breath. Just saying her name brought back a rush of emotions: embarrassment, longing, and the aching sense of loss for what could have been. Kyle noticed Mia's distraction. You okay? He asked, genuine concern etched into his expression. Mia tried to redirect her focus. Yeah, it's just someone I used to know. Her voice trailed off as Olivia waved at a group of old friends, effortlessly slipping back into their circle. They all laughed, their smiles spotlighting her like a tragic heroine in front of a crowd. For a moment, Mia felt invisible. But then Olivia turned, and their eyes locked for a brief second. It was a flicker, an unspoken challenge that sent a shiver down Mia's spine. The air around her felt thick, and she clenched her fists, remembering the years of competition, their shared dreams twisted by envy and rivalry. Mia? Kyle's voice pulled her back into the present. What's the plan? Mia took a deep breath, feeling the weight of the moment. We need to focus on everyone who's in this room, she urged, her voice growing steadier. Maybe we can turn this into something positive. Kyle nodded, the corners of his mouth turning up again. Yeah, I think you're right. Let us not let old grudges ruin this. Mia shot another glance at Olivia, only to see her glancing back, eyebrows raised, as if daring Mia to make the first move. Time seemed to stretch between them. It would be easy to retreat, to hide in the shadows of the evening, but Mia owed it to herself, and to many others, to break that cycle. Okay, she said, renewed determination vibrating in her voice. Let us get everyone together. We're going to reshape this night. Mia led Kyle toward the center of the room, her heart racing. As they passed by tables of familiar faces, she introduced the idea of sharing stories, reaching out to fellow classmates, and maybe, just maybe, squeezing out the old bitterness. Cautious nods and smiles encouraged her. More hope blossomed in the air, and then, they reached Olivia's table. The laughter died down, and the atmosphere shifted to uncertain. The chatter around them thinned as anticipation mounted. The spotlight was on them now. Mia, right? Olivia leaned back casually but met those eyes with an intensity that gave Mia pause. Yes, Mia replied, her voice coming out stronger than she expected. I think it's time we all reconnect. This community needs us all, even if we haven't always agreed. Interesting approach. Olivia studied Mia with a mix of surprise and intrigue, her demeanor shifting. Mia stepped forward, empowered by her words. Instead of being stuck in the past, let us reclaim this. For all of us. Can we just put everything behind? An unease washed over the room as old tensions threatened to rear their heads. Mia held her breath, waiting for Olivia's response. Would disbelief shatter the fragile atmosphere they had started to build, or would this be the moment of acknowledgement that could change everything? Olivia glanced around at the faces staring back at her, contemplating each one, including Kyle's eager face beside Mia's. All right, Olivia finally said, a smile breaking free. Let us hear what we all have to say. Vulnerability radiated throughout the room as nods of agreement followed. Mia's heart skipped a beat. Maybe they were on the brink of something profound. Perhaps they could heal deeper wounds together. But as the tension began to ease, another shift occurred. Olivia's eyes narrowed slightly, focusing on someone else in the crowd. Mia followed her gaze and felt ice grip her heart once more as she recognized the new arrival. Just when hope peeked through the cracks, Mia realized the real test was only beginning. Would they truly overcome their past, or was this another chapter in a story of rivalries, one that would lead to heartbreak once again? As the door swung wide open, Mia felt herself caught, teetering on the edge of an uncertain future. What would unfold next, and was she strong enough to face the truth that had found its way back to her? Mia's breath caught in her throat as she turned to see who had just stepped through the door. It felt like a punch to the gut. There, among the throng, was Ella, their old friend, a vibrant spirit who had once been the glue binding Mia and Olivia together. She had moved away during their senior year, leaving behind whispers of promises and hopes. But here she was, and suddenly the weight of the past morphed in the air, charged with unresolved feelings. Ella, Mia breathed, her heart racing at the sight of the girl she once considered a sister. It was a fantasy, a delusion, really, to think this night could be easy. Kyle looked to Mia, confusion mapping his features. You know her? Mia nodded, swallowing hard as she tried to smooth out the waves of emotion. Yeah, we were really close back in the day. Ella stepped closer, her presence swirling in layers of nostalgia and a bittersweet ache. She was just as stunning as Mia remembered, with her flowing hair and contagious laughter. But there was something different, something deeper in those eyes now. A cautious wisdom. Had she weathered her own storms? What's going on? Ella asked, her voice soft and warm. The moment felt heavy with longing. We're trying to reconnect, to bring everyone back together, Mia said, managing a smile that almost felt genuine. You know, for old time's sake. A flicker of recognition passed over Ella's face, and she nodded slowly. That's definitely a worthy cause. But do we think that's possible? Why wouldn't it be? Olivia interjected, the edge of her voice sharp enough to cut through the moment. We can all pretend we've moved on, but some wounds just don't heal. Mia felt the sharpness of Olivia's words sting like salt on a fresh cut. No, that can't be true, Mia responded, desperation tinging her voice. Look at everyone here. This is a chance for us to do better, to be better. Ella watched them both, an air of neutrality enveloping her. What do you think we need to do? Mia's heart raced as she began to realize how pivotal this very moment could be. We all have to share where we've been, what we've learned. It's not just about the past, it's about what we can do together now. There was a silence, thick with anticipation. A gathering of old friends, a constellation of lives intertwined, held on the cusp of healing. If we really want to change things, we have to own our mistakes, our pasts, Kyle spoke up, his voice firm yet encouraging. We can't let fear of what happened hold us back. Mia turned to Olivia, whose expression flickered. There was something building between them, a silent agreement, a dare. Would they embark on this journey toward understanding or remain shackled to their memories? Mia stood taller, ready to confront the tension. I think we need to listen, she proposed. If we talk honestly, we can mend things. This could be the night we finally let go. As the murmurs swept through the crowd, hope began to draw in closer. Suddenly, amidst the rising hope, Mia's gaze met Olivia's. The unspoken challenge hung palpably between them, but for the first time, Mia felt a flicker of warmth instead of resentment. But from across the room, Ella had shifted her attention towards someone else. The momentary warmth faded as Mia turned to follow her gaze again. Just then, another figure stepped into the light. This time, it was someone from their past but more loaded with complications and unresolved issues. Mia's stomach lurched, all the air rushing from her lungs. Why is he here? She whispered almost to herself. The moment of potential healing suddenly felt precariously close to crumbling. Would this derail everything they had just begun to rebuild? Mia's heart raced, the stakes had never felt higher. As secrets threatened to dive under the surface, Mia knew one thing: this was only the beginning. With the past looming large, how could they hope to pull together without facing their deepest truths? Would they rise above old wounds, or tear apart again? Mia's breath quickened as the figure stepped fully into the dim light of the room. It was Jake, the one who had left a bruise on her heart long after their high school days. The memories cascaded over her like an icy wave. The laughter, the late-night talks, the heartbreak when everything unraveled. His presence felt like a ghost from the past, reviving wounds she thought had healed. Isn't this a surprise? Jake's smirk held a blend of confidence and charm that both excited and infuriated Mia. She could see the way his eyes scanned the crowd, looking for familiar faces as though he belonged. Yet she felt invisible, a wall between them that he had built himself. Why would he show up now? Olivia's voice cut through Mia's swirling thoughts. The sharpness that characterized Olivia's demeanor hadn't diminished. Mia shared a look with her. Both mirrored similar disbelief mixed with an unspoken worry. Ella was already approaching Jake, her warmth seeming to pull him in. Just like old times, huh? She said, trying to bridge eras with her ever-optimistic spirit. Mia felt envy flare within. Why could Ella navigate the past so easily when Mia couldn't even catch her breath? Mia's face flushed, but she forced herself to step forward. Jake, her voice trembled, each syllable a fragile thread. What are you doing here? Jake turned, his gaze finally locking onto hers. I heard about tonight and thought I'd check it out. He shrugged. I mean, everyone's here. I thought it was a chance to reconnect. Mia felt the weight of his words crushing down. Reconnect? Did he even comprehend how deeply he had impacted her life? It wasn't just years apart. It was the years she had spent trying to forget what they had shared and the hurt he had created. Don't you think, she started, but Olivia stepped forward, arms crossed defiantly. Don't act like you care, Jake. You moved on the moment you left. Tension charged the air between them, suffocating and electric. Mia felt torn. Part of her was angry, but another part it craved resolution. Let us not do this here, Mia interjected, swallowing her fear of stirring the pot. We're trying to have a meaningful conversation. Her voice barely disguised the tremor, but she kept pushing. We have all hurt each other. Maybe this is the right time to face that. There were murmurs from the crowd behind her. She sensed the collective breath of friends holding on to hope, waiting for a breakthrough or a downfall. It could go either way. Maybe it's time we share our truths, Kyle suggested, his tone lighter, willing to ease the tension. We're all here for a reason. Let us not waste the opportunity. Mia looked to Jake. Something flickered in his gaze. Guilt? Perhaps. A part of her desperately wanted to break through that wall he had built. Jake, you didn't just leave, you disappeared. A long silence stretched, heavy with possibilities. Mia's heart ached, a mixture of longing and pain, memories flooding over her. Ella's eyes flitted between them, a hopeful plea for peace. Jake began, but the words hung in the air, unspoken, vulnerable. "Just say it," Mia urged, tears pooling in her eyes. Maybe this was the moment to uncover everything or let it rip apart again. With a tentative step forward, each character felt the weight of their choices rest heavy on their shoulders. "Maybe," Jake finally whispered, "it's time we share why we really came back." And just like that, the world shifted, reopening the scars and the hope all at once. Mia took a deep, shaky breath, knowing the next words could change everything. Would they finally confront their pasts or drown in the confusion of their tangled histories? Hope and fear danced in the air, and Mia braced herself for the revelations ahead. What truths lay waiting to be uncovered, and how would they shape the future that was now hanging delicately in the balance? Mia's heart raced as she stood at the center of the swirling emotions around her. This was her moment, the spotlight of possibility shining brighter than ever. The past had returned with a vengeance, bringing both shadows and old flames of hope. Would today be the day they all stood together, or would it pull them further apart? She couldn't take her eyes off Jake. The boy who left her heart heavy with doubt now stood before her, the tension palpable. She felt the weight of everyone watching, their hopes coiling and intertwining. "Why did you really come back?" Mia's voice was steady, as though she had crafted it from steel. Jake shifted, his gaze wavering. "I thought maybe we could start over together." His words were soft but filled with a heaviness that made Mia's heart flutter. Could they really reshape the fragments of their past? But Olivia spoke up first, her voice like ice. "You don't just come back and pretend everything's fine, Jake. You vanished without a word." Mia felt the urge to defend him, to bridge the old wounds. "Olivia, we all have scars. Maybe this is our chance to embrace them, to understand one another." Ella nodded, her thoughtful expression balancing the tension. "We've all struggled. Tonight isn't about blame, it's about healing." The murmurs around the room began to soften as choices were made in the raw light of sincerity. Jake stepped forward again, vulnerability etched into his features. "I left because I was scared, frustrated. I didn't know how to stay connected when I felt so lost myself. I thought it would be easier to just disappear." His admission hung in the air. Mia felt a rush of sympathy. He had his own demons to face. "Every part of us shaped this moment," she said, her voice gathering strength, "and we owe it to ourselves to share our truths. It's time we tear down these barriers." The room pulsed with newfound energy, the barrier between them growing thin, almost fragile with possibility. Mia felt emboldened as she looked at her friends who shared in this tangled history, their laughter, their tears, all braided together through time. "Let us be honest about our fears," she offered, glancing at Kyle, who nodded with encouragement. "We're still here, fighting for one another, and that counts for something." Finding their voices, one by one, others stepped forward. Tears of joy and laughter mingled together as they shared their histories, the missteps and the misunderstandings. The air thickened with warmth, washing away the bitterness that had so long clung to their past. One by one, walls crumbled, connections healed. Even Olivia found her footing, sharing how she had felt overshadowed, longing to be included rather than competitive. As they shared their truths, Mia felt her spirit shift. They were not just weaving connections, they were creating a tapestry of resilience, transforming hurt into hope. The more they spoke, the more light pierced through the shadows within their hearts. Then, as if riding the wave of empowerment, Kyle stepped forward. "We can choose to build on this. How about we host more gatherings like this? A space where healing, sharing not only meals but memories, can thrive?" Mia's heart swelled at the idea. "Yes. We could turn this into something beautiful, a celebration of us, together." Ella beamed. "A community where everyone feels welcome." Cheers erupted through the crowd, and the air vibrated with joy. What had once been a gathering clouded by past grievances morphed into a realization that they were truly stronger together. Yet in that moment of clarity, Mia caught Jake's gaze again. It centered her. "And you, Jake? Where do you fit in all this?" His silence spoke volumes. Mia felt the sympathetic flutter of the crowd and waited, her breath caught in her throat. Finally, he reached for her hand, bringing those swirling feelings of the past into focus. I want to make things right, Mia. I owe it to us to you. It was then Mia saw the genuine intention behind his words. Walls were falling, burns were healing, and there was still a chance for reconciliation. The entire room felt the shift, as every single story combined into a life-affirming powerful surge. That's all we can do, she said softly, interlocking their fingers, hold each other accountable and create our future. Tears brimmed in her eyes as laughter erupted around them, blending together into a fabric of dreams born anew. In those moments, Mia glimpsed each face their smiles, their hopes shining bright. We're really doing this, she uttered. Together. And with that, a real transformation began, a rebirth of their small town. They stood not just as individuals fighting their pasts but as a community. Together, they would thrive. As the night unfolded, amidst laughter, tears, and shared experiences, Mia knew one thing for sure: this was just the beginning. They were all brave enough to lean into the unknown, ready to embrace whatever paths lay ahead, to live fearlessly into every delicious future. Don't let this moment fade. You need to subscribe now to catch all the exclusive stories coming next. Leave a like now to feed the algorithm and show your support. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. How did Mia's journey impact you? And share instantly this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this transformation. Don't wait not even one more second. Get involved and spread the word.